Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's been a couple weeks since we've done one of these lessons, but with the holidays. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. I know I enjoyed mine. I hope you all did too. But now here we are in the new year, and in the coming weeks, we're going to be talking about Jesus in some ordinary situations, but having some very extraordinary experiences. Now, we don't know a lot about Jesus as he grew from a child to an adult. We hear about his birth, of course, as we just have over Christmas, and we hear a lot, obviously, about him as an adult, but we don't hear a whole lot about him as a child. There's only a few stories in the Bible about that period of his life. But today, we're going to be reading about Jesus's baptism, and scholars believe that he was about 30 years old when he was baptized. And I'm going to read to you Matthew's version of his baptism. And it's chapter 3, verses 13 through 17. At that time, Jesus came from Galilee to the Jordan River so that John would baptize him. John tried to stop him and said, "I need to be baptized by you, yet you come to me?" Jesus answered, "Allow me to be baptized now. This is necessary to fulfill all righteousness." So John agreed to baptize Jesus. When Jesus was baptized, he immediately came up out of the water. Heaven was opened to him, and he saw the Spirit of God coming down like a dove and resting on him. A voice from heaven said, "This is my Son, whom I dearly love. I find happiness in him." Now, when Jesus asked John to baptize him, John tried to stop him. Why is that? John probably felt confused because he likely thought that it should be the other way around, that Jesus should be baptizing John and everyone else there too. But Jesus asked to be baptized because he was making a new beginning to serve God as a teacher and a healer. And this was a most important experience for Jesus. If we look at the subheadings on the next pages of the Bible, we can get an idea of what he did after he was baptized. He went into the desert to reflect on what his ministry leadership would be like. He began his work, he began calling disciples, and began his teaching and healing. His baptism was the beginning of all this. So the water, in which he was baptized, the water itself plays a very important role here. And throughout history, water has been used as a symbol of purity, wisdom, power, and grace. It's a very important symbolically, and it's also really important for the earth, of course. Water covers 70% of the Earth's surface, and it's vital for all more known forms of life. And of course, our own lives depend on water as well. The cells in our body consist of 65 to 90% water. Isn't that crazy? And we can't survive without it, of course. So we're going to do a little activity. I want you to pause the video in a second, grab a pen and paper. I want you to just quickly brainstorm, just a minute or two, write down all the ways that you use water in your daily life. All right, so go ahead and pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so here is the list that I came up with. Drinking water, of course, cooking food in water, washing ourselves, washing our clothes or our dishes, maybe washing the dog. I had to wash my dog after she was running around on the beach. She got rolled in sticky things. And here's one that I wonder I bet you didn't think of. How about to power your laptop or tablet or your phone? Does that make sense? How do you power your phone with water? Well, hydroelectric power, right? A lot of electricity is generated by water, which in turn generates all our appliances, all our lights, our phones, and our technology, and sometimes more and more our cars, right? So it's pretty important. Water can also be very powerful in ways that we don't usually think about in a daily context. So I'm going to read you a story about the power of water. So imagine that you are in a glider soaring over the Grand Canyon. You see layers of rocks, red and yellow, brown and black. You see a deep gorge, as if someone has cut a trench a mile deep out of the layers of rock. Some places the cut is narrow, the wall steep, and in some places the canyon widens out so that the walls stretch wide apart. And at the bottom, through the 277 miles of the canyon, which is crazy, runs the Colorado River. Mostly from above, the river looks rather calm and quiet, oozing along the bottom of the Great Channel. But it's not quite right to think of the canyon as being the route that the river follows. In fact, the river is what carved the canyon. Hundreds of millions of years ago, changes in the Earth's climate brought changes to the environment where the Grand Canyon is now. At different times, deserts, swamps, and inland seas covered the area alternately over hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. With each time the environment changed, a new layer of sediment was deposited on top of the previous one. And the weight of each sediment layer pressed and compacted the ones below, cementing each layer into rock. Now, tectonic plates, the blocks of the Earth's crust that move around, these shifted the layers of rocks around. And when two of the plates slid under North America 75 million years ago, that movement forced the land to push up, creating the mountains that we now call the Rocky Mountains. And then again, 60 million years ago, this similar movement formed the flat rise of land that we call the Colorado Plateau. So the first uplift created the path of the Colorado River. And as the river ran through those layers of rocks, the water began to erode what was relatively soft sandstone. And as the river flowed along, bits of rock moved along with it, carried those bits of rocks to the river's end at the Gulf of Mexico. Now that second uplift that happened increased the Colorado's already steep slope, causing the river to flow even faster because steeper slope, the water moves faster. And what happened, do you think, with the rock erosion? With the water moving faster, the rock eroded more quickly as well. But it wasn't until the ice ages, a little over just 2 million years ago, that the Colorado River did most of its work. During that period, the Earth's history, the Colorado River ran really high because of all the snow and rain, carrying more rock and soil than ever before. So boulders as big as trucks went crashing down the river's length as the power of the water cut the canyon deeper and deeper. And these boulders that the glacier moves are called glacier erratics, and sort of like the one on top of Bubble Rock, or Bubble Rock on top of Bubble Mountain, right? That I'm sure all of you have tried to push over the edge of the mountain at one time or another. But in the case of the Colorado, it was actually the water, not the ice, that was moving these large boulders. So there's a dam across the Colorado River now, and the river flows more slowly, but still gradually the Grand Canyon continues to be carved deeper and deeper. So you might want to ask yourself, which is stronger, rock or water? If you pour water on a rock, the water will flow away while the rock stands firm. But given enough time, lots and lots of time, it's the power of water that carved the rock that created the Grand Canyon. So it's pretty amazing what water just seems so, it's liquid, right? It just drips, it falls, but it's powerful enough to change the landscape and carve away rock and move rocks. So water is entirely vital and important for all aspects of our lives, from our own human existence to the earth around us. And it's also incredibly powerful. So that's why it's so fitting that it is water that prepared Jesus for what was to become such important work of his life. So that's it for tonight. Take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of someone else as well. And I'll see you next time.